Rosa, are you here? Rosa! Or at least that's how I imagined it went. You're welcome. Rosa! You'll be shouting that later tonight. I can say that, right? You're laughing, so I can say that. So I have a few work stories. He's still cracking up. I have a few work stories. I used to work in a movie theater, the one on Shoreline, and it's been 2 years since I've been there. Actually, I saw someone here tonight. I hope he's still here. If he's not, I'm going to use his name. It's going to be great. His name is Peter. Peter. I think I can say this because we got along. He's the little person who works there. I used to flirt with him all the time. Just like, come away with me, Peter. While he was carrying the cash to count my cash and see if I was short or not. And it was just innocent like that. I didn't even realize that, you guys.
Jesus Christ.
You guys, this is not about Peter being short, this is about Peter being oh so cute. His face, not, God, never. Moving on. So I think the best part of this is making grumpy people laugh. I'm surprised you didn't laugh at that, you shortists. I worked with a lot of grumpy people at that theater, and so making them laugh made me smile, and I still think about it 2 years later. So the first guy is Richard. If you ever go there, it's the guy who's a manager with a blazer, and he never, ever smiles or says anything. It's just like, that's Richard. And you can say hi to him and tell me, or tell him whatever, that I said hi. Tell me I said hi, yeah. So he was coming into work one day, and I was leaving. And I'm pretty sure they arranged that beautifully because they didn't want us working together. They didn't want him being so pissed off he couldn't function. So there was this huge counter, and he was at one end trying to wash his hands, and I was at the other end. And I was like, Richard! Oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so hyper right now. I'm talking so fast. I had the best work day ever. I'm about to go home. Hi, Richard. And he, you know, his face is just... But as he was washing his hands, a little one came out on his little face. He was like... And you know how it comes out? You spew as you're doing your little smile, because you're trying to hold it back like a turd. And that made me smile, and it still makes me smile 2 years later. So the second story of a little grumpy man, not Peter. I keep going there. I really should stop. But it's really because I'm reading your thoughts, so you're the turds. So second person, I don't remember his name. But I remember he started the conversation with, I don't think my name matches me. And I said, you know what, you're probably right because I'm not going to remember your name 2 years later. And I said, no, that's not what I said. I said, well, I don't think my name matches me. And he was like, what are you talking about, Rosa? Your name fits you perfectly. And I said, whoa, you must think I'm pretty because my name is not Poo Poo. And that got him to laugh. Little grumpy guy laughed. I really wish I could remember his name. But then I felt bad for saying Poo Poo because we have a manager named Pooya. Guys are immature jerks. It's okay, I laughed at it too. Pooya, like booyah with poo. He was awesome because he would laugh whenever I laughed, even if he didn't understand what was happening. And so one day he was taking me to count my money. Probably because I flirted with Peter so much that they were like, no, this can't be happening. So they replaced him with Pooya. And as Pooya was counting, I never noticed this before, but he put money into this machine. And I read the top of the machine, it said sub-batch. And I started crying, laughing. I was like, Pooya! And he was like, what are you laughing at? it says sub batch. And he was like, yeah, well, what's so funny about that? And I was like, you know, like sub batch. Sub batch. Like sub itch. I didn't say the B, but you guys weren't getting it, so I... Sub batch. I'm glad that there's 2 people in the world, in this entire world, who actually get that. Their names are Jeremy and Paula, and they are not here tonight, because one is my therapist. So the third story is another story that happened in the counter room. And this time I had started a random conversation. I said, did you know that you can't breathe out of both nostrils at the same time? You can try that now. Exhale, not inhale. And feel with your finger. And that's what was awkward about that, is that Daniel, one of the managers, was feeling his nostril air with his finger. And I started crying, pouring like flood out of my eyes, laughing. I said, Daniel, don't do that, you look like a creep. And he was like, what? And then he started to crack up because I was cracking up, and this does not look good. And so, what did he do? He didn't stop. He went like this. And I was like, Daniel, that's worse. So you know what he did? He didn't stop. And I was like, Daniel, that's the worst. Stop. Don't look like you're smelling your hand. That's freaking gross. And he's like, what? It's true what you said. You can only like breathe out of one nostril. And he was like, Dale, can you believe this? And she's like, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I breathe out of both. And I started laughing hella hard because this woman, if you go to the theater, ask for Dale, she always sounds like she's sick, like she's plugged up, like, hello, how may I help you? So, no, you cannot breathe out of either of your nostrils. I have a grudge against her. It come and goes. I don't really think of Dale often, unless it's Dale Gribble from King of the Hill, and then in that case I'm like, yeah, I should have taken some pocket sand and cha-cha-cha-cha. But she really pissed me off because there was another girl named Rosa, and we would joke around about, I'm the OG, no, I'm Rosa, there's no room for 2 Roses here, and I'd be like, I was born first, so I win. And one day, when we were cleaning up theaters, I joked about, well, where did you get your name from? Rosa Parks? Something stupid, because, that's an admirable way to get your name. And so I was, jokingly bragging about how I got my name. You don't need to know. And so Dale pulls me aside. She's like, I'm not going to give you a write-up now, but I'm going to give you a warning. You made Rosa's name sound insignificant. What? I was like, we have the same name! And I flipped my name tag. You're making me feel insignificant because you're taking her side. Like, she's the Rosa. Rude. But I have a bigger grudge. I have the ultimate grudge against someone that I never worked with. She is a teacher named Miss Meckes. And I'm looking right at the camera now, but it's futile because she's probably married to someone who changed her name. Because she was engaged 7 times. She was a runaway bride. That is relevant to this story, totally. So she was such an idiot. I'm going to finish up real quick. She had these fun yet appropriate stories that we could tell about our weekends or our, winter breaks. So it was winter break. We had come back and I said, I have a story to tell. So the story was that my friend was so nervous that a boy had run away to her home because, his mom was being mean. So he's like, I'm going to go over to my crush's house. My friend didn't know that he had a crush on her. So I told her, I was like, Corey, Kyle likes you. And she was like, this was her reaction. Hold on, I'll do it on this freaking microphone. why did you tell me? This was my shoulder, by the way. Rosa, why did you tell me that? Now I'm gonna act weird. And she did. She did. She mixed all her words when she was forming sentences. So she took a cookie out of a cookie jar, trying to be nice, saying, would you like a Kyle cookie? And I thought that was freaking hilarious. So I wanted to tell that for the story, and everybody laughed. Unlike here, because you're not teenagers. Everybody laughed, and the teacher was like, okay, stop, this is inappropriate. And I was like, just because a room full of teenagers are laughing, what's wrong with you? And I should have a bigger grudge on Corey, my best friend at the time, because she was sitting right next to me, and she didn't vouch for me. She wasn't like, oh yeah, I said that because I was nervous. There was no way that that's inappropriate. So, one time I was looking at her arm jiggle, and she caught me, but she thought it was a hole. So, there you go. I think that's hilarious. Beckus, I hate you. Thank you.
Yeah!